Welcome to the After Midnight stream. Tough night for the boys in orange and blue, but I kind of knew that. And if you was inside the Discord server, Knicks Tape Madness Discord server, salute to you. You know, I told you guys this game is going to be a blowout. So of course we're going to talk a little bit about the game. That's the highlight for tonight on the After Midnight stream. I do have two other things if I have time that I do want to touch on. I do want to touch on people calling Jalen Brunson a liability on defense. Is it true? Is it merit to it? I don't know. We're going to discuss it. I do know. I'm just not going to share it right now. And then another topic I want to talk about, the genius thing that Leon Rose did. I'm not sure if we're going to have time, but if we do, I'm going to unpack that. If not, I'll probably drop that in another video. But, you know what? Let's get the After Midnight stream started. Let's go. Welcome to the After Midnight stream. I am your host, Karan Pierre, the Objective Fan, straight out of Kings County, New York City's finest. And you know the vibes, man. So salute to everybody that's going to be joining the stream. I do appreciate you guys for checking me out. I see you, Yuri, in the building early. So this is the After Midnight stream. We're going to be talking about the game and a couple other topics if I have time. All I'm gonna say is this: so if you are listening to this show and you are in the Knicks Tape Madness Discord server, I'm just gonna say that I told you so. Yeah, I told you so. I told you that the Knicks were not gonna win tonight. Why? Because no Mitchell Robinson. I knew that was gonna be a tall task. Once I seen no Mitchell Robinson, it was a wrap. Also, being minus 10.5 by the bookies is never a good thing. You know that, I mean, that's a huge road dog from a betting perspective. And, you know, we're down to our 4th and 5th string point guard, and salute to those guys. They're not doing a bad job. I just knew that it was going to be a tough task. This is the After Midnight stream. So if you just joined, definitely hit that like button so we can get some more people in the building. Yuri said he had a funny feeling. Hopes that he's just passing by to say hi. Yeah, I mean, we'll see, man. We'll see how the stream goes. I'm definitely would be a breath of fresh air, or I'm not the negative Nancy. So, you know, this show wasn't a negative Nancy. It is unfortunate that we didn't get a chance to see the Cleveland Cavaliers healthy. Now, I don't even think the last time we see them, which will be the 11th, I don't think that game will matter. I think both teams will probably be sitting their guys. Maybe Brunson might play because he's trying to get to the 65 game mark, but the Cleveland Knicks, Boston Knicks regular season ship has sailed. So I don't really care about the games in April, because right now, hold on, I'm gonna go into research mode. Let me just make sure everything is situated here. I wanna pull up the standings really quickly before we touch on this game. Oh, by the way, too, if you did just join, I do have a RSVP form for the Knicks playoffs. We're gonna be doing a watch party together, live in person. If you're interested in going to that, click the form that's in the description. It's pinned to the description. Okay. Now, I do want to say this. Looking at the updated standings, 48 and 28. Okay. We got about, 6 more games? We're probably more than likely, I don't want to say guaranteed, but it is a guarantee. It looks like it's a guarantee. We're going to be the 3rd seed. No one is playing hard. If you clinch the spot, Indiana just clinched the spot. Why are we going hard in the regular season? So I'm saying that to say to the people that's going crazy, and I've seen people going crazy on social media about this game. Oh, we can't beat the above 500, the elite teams in the East. Look at your lineup. Look at your lineup. DeLon Wright, who might have played, 5 games all year, he's your starting point guard. And salute DeLon Wright. You know, I'm even going to give him a New York City salute, even though I don't like to give salutes when we lose. And by the way, Knicks will be champs. I see you in the building, 25-26. Salute to you. Just having a candid conversation about this game. It's not going to be the only thing we talk about tonight. It's not going to be the only thing we talk about tonight. I do also want to talk about Brunson being a defensive liability, but I've just got to break this game down. It is what it is. But I knew we were going to lose the game. And to me, it's not the worst thing that could possibly happen. It's not, right? We hadn't seen Cleveland all year yet healthy. No excuses. I'm just keeping it real. We hadn't seen them with our whole bench and everybody there. Just never happened. Never got the opportunity to see it. The last time we played them, which is when we got blown out by like damn near 40, the biggest blowout in Coach Tibbs' tenure as a Knicks coach. By the way, also salute to Coach Tibbs for passing Pat Riley on the all-time. I know y'all don't want to hear that, to the anti-Tibbs hive, but hey, he did do that. But even if we go back to this blowout game, right, where we got smacked, we still didn't have our guys. No Mitchell Robinson, right? Ariel Hukporti was in the rotation, okay? Precious Achiuwa got the start, right? We just didn't have our crew, and then Josh Hart didn't play this game. So, once again, I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying, like, the Cavaliers, this has been their theme all year. They've been playing against teams that are not healthy. This real talk. Now, and if you have any thoughts you'd like to share it in the chat. I definitely will read it. I do like the way Josh Hart came out aggressively early on in the game. You know, he wasn't scared to take his shots. I'm not glorifying individual accolades in a loss. I don't do that. Even Jokic, people were making a big deal about Jokic 60-point triple-double. My thing is you lost. Just like when Jalen Brunson had the 61 points, he lost, right? I mean, it is what it is. You get 61 points and you lose. What good is your 61 points? You lost. So, but there are some things I do want to touch on. So I thought Josh Hart started off pretty aggressive. You know, he missed some shot. He missed a shot, but he wasn't scared to get the shots up, right? Towns was a really aggressive early in the first quarter, looking to attack the basket. And you know what I realized too, right? Because even in the Discord server, some of you guys were saying that Towns didn't have a good game, but he's 9 of 16 from the field, right? 6 of 7 from the free throw line. He's on his average on the glass. I said that in order to win this game, he would have to do more than that. He would have to get 30. But it's hard for me to look at this game and say Towns had a bad game. Now, the 8-man rotation is completely, I mean, yeah, there's no reason why on April 2nd, Coach Tibbs is still playing 8-man rotation. I wish I would have kept the stats on the 8-man rotation and how inefficient it is. A lot of times we play 8 men, we lose. It's just not a good look. It's just not a good look. It's just not effective. And my thing too, right? Why couldn't Mitch play 10 minutes tonight? Knicks will be chance. I see what you're saying. You said the loss was expected, but why are Knicks fans going crazy? Knicks will be champs. Why are they going crazy right now? I peeked into some forums and I'm like, man. So I'm expecting the smoke. But I know my chat, y'all pretty level-headed Knicks fans. Salute to the chat. Y'all level-headed Knicks fans. You know what I'm saying? So I don't expect too much craziness. But to the new people that comes through, feel free to subscribe, right? Hit that bell icon so you get all your notifications and like the video. So that way you can help share the video to others. But I don't think that the 8-man rotation is working. Josh Hart, Towns, OG. I mean, OG ran out of gas. OG was killing early on, but then Cleveland, they managed to get some ticky-tack fouls on OG. And once he got the 4 fouls in the third quarter, I knew it was a wrap. But if I could stay on the first quarter, the Cavs were getting too many open threes. They were 6 of 10 from three-point land. Now, I didn't report in the Discord server, but salute to my people that watch the Knicks and 10 shows with me, right? Because I already told you guys that three-point defense is a major concern. That and dominating the DRM, dominating the rebound matchup. So for the first 3 quarters, Cleveland, they were shooting pretty good from three-point land, right? I mean, in the second quarter, it dropped. That's why the Knicks were able to take a nice little lead. We went up to 15, and this is the largest blown lead. Now, seeing them hit the 3 ball, and also the rebounding gap was not huge, right? I think the highest differential in rebounds we had, I think it was +4 in the first quarter. Now, I could fact check that. Let me see. No, +11, and I think it was +4 in the second quarter, right? And so I knew that the Cavs were right there. No, we were +2, so we never was +4, so we was +2. So the rebounding battle was always close. And they were hitting the 3 ball, so I said, damn, this game is gonna be tough as my alarm goes off. But I knew it was going to be a tough game. I was shocked that we actually came out and played as well as we did early. But here's another thing about rebounding that not too many people are going to mention. When you're dominating the rebounding matchup, especially if you're crashing the defensive glass, one, you're keeping Cleveland off the offensive glass, right? So that's a major benefit right there. You limit second chance opportunities by default, right? But 2, the goal is also to limit Cleveland getting in the transition, right? On the offensive side. Because Cleveland is, them and OKC to me are the most dangerous teams attacking in transition if they're turning you over and getting stops and running. Because Cleveland, I mean, they can also attack in transition off makes. Once I saw that, I was like, yeah, it's only a matter of time, guys. It's only a matter of time before this game is over. It's only a matter of time before this game is over. So in the second quarter, when the 3-point percentage dropped a little bit, I think their 3-point percentage dropped to 36% at the end of going into halftime. And a lot of you guys are going to say, look at the 3-point defense is spectacular. No, they were missing open threes. So you know how they say it's like the calm waiting before the storm? That's exactly what it was. And I recognized it. And I knew it because I watched a lot of Cleveland basketball. Like, no lead is safe against Cleveland because they don't really make mistakes. I mean, yeah, they can turn over the ball, and they were early in the game turning over the ball. But I'm going to say it like this, guys. It's like a marathon runner. If you're racing a marathon runner and it's a long race, you might take the lead in the beginning. All of a sudden, as fatigue starts to set in, as you start to get deeper into the race, the marathon runner begins to actually pick up their pace. And that's what happened in this game. In the first half, this game was, hold on, I got a video playing. I know it's not playing in the stream, but it's kind of messing with me. This is an old video playing. Right? But pretty much I knew that they were going to overtake us at some point. It was just a matter of time. And you can't make any mistakes And OG Anunoby pretty much did his best Jalen Brunson impression. He had 19 and 5 in the first half. 5 assists, that is. And he really was the catalyst on offense. So my man J-Tap, salute to J-Tap for the Knicks Tape Madness Discord server. I'm not sure if he's on the stream, but he actually said in the Discord server, what's going on? And I said, this was in the third quarter. I said, what's happening is that OG Anunoby's in foul trouble. He's timid. He doesn't want to pick up that fifth foul because he had 4 fouls in the third quarter. And so now the offense is stagnant because he was doing a lot more than just getting his own bucket. He was actually dishing 2 off drives. So once they took that away and OG became timid, that's when the Knicks offense began to shut down and the Cavs started attacking in transition. The Cavs had 0 fast break points in the first half. I had to go look at the team stats twice. I did a double take. I did a double take at the team stat because I'm like, because if you look at the team stat, right, you see points conceded off turnovers is kind of close to is right next to fast break points. So I'm looking at the points conceded over turnovers because I think they had like 14 in the first half or 12 in the first half. So I'm like, wait a minute. They got 0 fast break points. And they finished the game with 14. So all 14 of their fast break points came in the second half. Why? Because the Knicks started losing the rebound battle, right? And Cleveland became more prolific. And when they would crash the defensive glass, they out in transition. And a lot of times they'll go for layups, but they're also looking for threes. And now they started hitting 3-ball. Once they started hitting the 3-ball, yeah. And then when they said, and salute to MSG for this, right? They said that on the telecast that the Cleveland Cavaliers went 15 of 15 in the third quarter. I'm like, yeah, this game is over. You might as well pull the starters in the beginning of the fourth quarter. They're not coming back because it's like a snowball, that turns into an avalanche, right? Like it's only a matter of time before it becomes uncontrollable, uncontainable. And that's just the honest truth of how this game went. That's the honest truth of how this game went. When it got to the fourth quarter, I was like, we blown the largest lead of the season, which is 15. Before that, I think it was 13 to OKC. And now the narratives, oh, you can't beat the elite teams. While I commend what OKC and even Cleveland are doing in the regular season, it's not a championship. It's not a championship. And like we say, or like I say all the time, there's no direct correlation between regular season success and playoff success. Meaning, if you beat a team in the regular season, it's not a guarantee you beat them in the playoffs. So it is what it is. We down 0-3 to the Cavs. I did notice a funny scene in the game, right? So I can't remember the other commentator that was next to Wiley. What's the guy's name? I can't remember his name. If you guys remember his name, put it in the chat. Right? He came from Boston. He's new. He's the new commentator. He fills in sometimes when Walt Clyde's not on the road or Mike Breen, So he asked Wiley a question, and he stumped Wiley. I'm not sure how many of you guys caught it. He said, Wiley, what makes Mitchell Robinson a good pick and roll defender? I thought it was a great question. I would say Mitchell Robinson is definitely a solid role defender. He can handle the role. He does a good job of showing and getting back. That's what Wiley said. He kind of does a good job of kind of like hedging or he does a good job of like just showing and getting back on rolls. And against Cleveland, I think is going to be beneficial, more so than Boston. Now, against popping teams, right? Mitchell Robinson's food. He's cooked. He's like Towns. He's going to get cooked. If teams are popping on the pick and roll, he's going to get cooked. The only way to guard that is to do what I suggested, which a lot of you guys didn't like, would be to put Hart on the center and then switch to pick and pop. But that's against Boston. Against Cleveland, they don't really pop like that. Allen and Mobley don't pop off screens. Now, Hunter and Merrill, sometimes they run actions for those, smaller forwards to set screens and pop, but that's not a staple in their offense. That's why Mitchell Robinson is powerful against the Cavaliers. I mean, that's what I would have said on the broadcast. Not that I know more than Wiley, but that's what I would have said. He wouldn't have stunned me. I would have actually said that I think that when you say Mitchell Robinson guards the pick and roll, what makes him so good, I would say if you're looking at it in two segments, rolling versus popping, I'd say that he's better at rolling pick and roll defense and his drop coverage, and he does a good job of sailing and getting back and make sure the center don't get lobs. But Cleveland is still dangerous because Mitchell and Garland look for action towards the basket off screen because they're also threats to score. That's what makes their pick and roll attack very dangerous. We know Allen and Mobley is going to roll, but what makes it double trouble is that Garland and Mitchell are mostly looking to attack like towards the basket than coming off of shooting threes. So that's why I think Mitchell will be fine in pick and roll defense against the Cat. Let me see what you guys talking about in the chat. Yuri says the point in the guys shows up every game, no matter if bad teams, good teams, elite teams, regardless. This is his first year with the team. Talking about Mikal, must be talking about. Mikal does have to step it up. I mean, tonight, a game like tonight, I'm not gonna put it on Mikal. First of all, I don't put losses on one player. I don't do that. It's a team effort. So if the team wins, the team gets the effort. Team loses, team get the effort. Now I do weigh it. So like I might give Mikal more of the blame because he is a starter on the team, but it's not his fault solely, right? I thought that, Mikal had definitely a tough night. And Garland had a decent night. Garland wasn't really cooking like that, but Garland, see, the Cavaliers, one thing I can say about them is they look to get their big guys involved. They will slow down the game just to get Allen a pick and roll. Like, you don't see their big guys going long stretches without getting touches. So sometimes Garland, he gets trapped in facilitator mode. But he had a decent game. But Mikal, it was a struggle. It was a struggle. And he has to do better. And I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this black and white. OG Anunoby is the third option. He's not the second option. Salute to my man Mike from PA. He's the one to first bring it in this this section of YouTube. He brought it up in the Discord. No, he brought it up on the Knicks call-up show that he thinks that OG Anunoby should be the second option. I don't think so. I think that OG is doing a phenomenal job. But Towns showed you, I think, in this game why Towns is a higher priority guy in the office, even though OG took one more shot than Towns. I think Towns, he's a center, and at times you could play inside outside. I did notice that he had a post up on the block. I was shocked. I'm like, oh, he started low. So if Towns could starting low, especially when they put smaller, like power forwards on them, I think Towns is going to be a problem in the playoffs. But I think Towns is the second option. Brunson is the first option. Sometimes they could vacillate that, switch that up. But I think OG should be the third option because I'm telling you right now, OG Anunoby is going to be even better when Brunson gets back because now he has somebody that's going to take all of the pressure off of him. And now, instead of getting the Max Strus assignment or Mobley was kind of guarding him because he spends a lot of time at the 4. But now you might see a lesser defender on OG because now you got to put your Dyson Daniels on Brunson, right? So it's gonna make his life a lot easier, and he can knock down corner threes. Let me see you guys talking about chat. People talking about making trades. It's too late to be talking about making trades, man. Outspoken introvert. How about some 2-man game with Cat and OG? That's not. I mean, who's gonna facilitate that? OG has shown that he can create off the dribble for himself. I'm still not sold on him being a lead playmaker for others. I'm not sold on that. So it's going to be hard for them to run 2-man action consistently. And to be honest, outspoken introvert, I would love to see Brunson run more 2-man action with Towns. I think if we get that, that'd be crazy. Let's see. No way you can count on Bridges if he meet the Celtics in the playoffs. I think you guys need to really. I think you guys are looking at the game from a short-sighted mindset because Mikal had a bad game. Mikal has great games. He had the 40-point game against the Spurs, right? He hit the game winner against Portland. I don't really care about this one game, right? I look at the season in like stretches. But Brunson is coming back, so Brunson's going to make everyone's life easier. And this is why I have to talk about Brunson being a defensive liability because, I just think that, people are looking at the game from a short-sighted perspective where we're just game to game with it. We're not looking at, okay, this is what actually is happening throughout the season. Let me see what you guys talking about. Definitely, agreeing to disagree is always good with me. Sometimes we got to do that. He has great games against bad teams. I don't know about that. Mikal has great games. This is like a after midnight stream, man. I'm going to be reading your chats. Hold on. Let's look it up. I'm going to go off script. I think I'm going to do that other video I wanted to do about Leon Rose. I'm going to do that as a separate clip. I don't want to make this video too long with, multiple topics. I want to keep it consistent. So I'm going to pull up Mikal Bridges and we're going to look at some of his best games against, who it's against. Because I don't remember off the top of the head. I do know the Spurs game is probably his best game. The Portland shot was another great one. But of course, JJ's going to say that wasn't against great teams. So he did have a 29-point game against Minnesota. He had a 28-point game against Memphis. 28-point game against Miami. Wait, was Miami a good team at this point? I'm not sure if he would count that. But I to keep it objective, a lot of his games were against teams that wasn't the best. San Antonio, Portland, New Orleans. Okay, I mean, it is what it is. He's a third option. Mikal is a third option. So, sometimes, that's not his role to score. There's some couple of more things from this game. Oh, I do want to say this. Fourth quarter, another thing that happened in the fourth quarter was pick and roll. Salute to anyone in the Discord. Do y'all remember me saying, I'm surprised Cleveland ain't running more pick and roll? Every time Cleveland ran pick and roll, it was a bucket. I'm like, man, this is a problem. But they're not running it. Fourth quarter, early. That's why they blew the Knicks out of the water, because Knicks had no answers for pick and roll. No answers. Not to mention, they started hitting the 3-ball, getting in transition, right? And it just shooting way better. Now, overall, the 3-point defense wasn't bad, 32%. Because the first quarter was their best quarter. Then they went 1 for 7 in the second quarter. Third quarter was kind of half. And then the fourth quarter, they kind of, they was hitting some threes. But the 3-point defense wasn't the worst. No, I don't want to say that. They got lucky because they missed a lot of open threes. I'm going to keep it real. Cleveland missed open threes. So this is why you can't be a box score warrior, bro. You can't be a box score warrior talking about basketball. Because if you watch the game, you would see they missed a lot of open threes. A lot of open threes. I would say they probably missed like a good 6 to 7 open threes that they probably should have hit. And we just got lucky because this league could have easily been like the other game. It's 142-105 easily. Right? And they shot 50%, 53% from the field. Because like I said, Garland and Mitchell are looking to drive when they get screened. Fourth quarter, yup, Yuri, that's exactly when they started going crazy with it. Because Cat is the worst pick and roll defender. Okay. Court says Leon is slipping. Why is Leon slipping? Why do you think Leon is slipping? How could you say Leon is slipping when this team at one point was 40-20? This team was 40-20. How could you say that the team is slipping? Let me see if I can get my last year's schedule. Because I stay with the stats, man. I just can't remember where I put my last year stat sheet at. So I could just back it out and show you guys. You guys be tripping, bro. So last year, we at the 77 game mark. Last year at the 77 game mark, we were 45-32. 45-31. So we got 3 games on where we were last year. How could you say that we slipping? We're slippage where? Where are the Knicks slipping? Defense? What were we last year in defense? Hold on. So we could be thorough and accurate. Right? So we could be thorough and accurate. Where were we last year in defense? 23-24, we were ranked 10th in defensive rating. Right now, 24-25, we're 13th. 3 spots off of 10th. Where are we slipping? But look at the offense, though. 5th ranked offense. I think we were 7th ranked last year. So the offense is better than last year. Where's the slippage? Course says the 5 picks. Who are these people? Who are these 5 picks? OKC JJ, 0 points. Anyway, can you find? Oh God, you wanna continue going? Damn, y'all wanna? Oh man, you trying to disgrease bridges? I'm the objective Knicks fan. You already know how I get down. I care about the Knicks, and I support the players for sure. But I don't really care about none of this stuff. You said you want to see them against the Cavs and the Celtics. All right, let's do it. Why not? So against Boston, he had 11, 14, 16. Not the greatest, not the greatest showing. Right? Not the greatest showing. Can't cap. Tonight he had 8 points against Cleveland. It didn't update. Basketball Reference takes a day for it to show. 14-19. Okay. He is a third option though. I think like he's out of position defensively. He is a third option. Now, I'm not making excuses. I do think that, especially on a night like tonight, this was the time to show out without Cap. But it just didn't work that way. And I think that he's going to be the fourth option going forward when JB comes back. So I'm hoping that makes life more easy for him and he performs better with less pressure. But I don't see the slippage, though. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting to see slippage because no matter how you cut it about Bridges, his 18 points, right, is better than Dante DiVincenzo. It's better than Dante DiVincenzo. Y'all want to look at Dante DiVincenzo? Mikal Bridges is an upgrade to Dante DiVincenzo. I don't care what none of you guys think or none of you guys want to say. Okay? He's giving you 12 points. He's on and off the bench, right? Starting and coming off the bench, right? And he does have a better three-point percentage. That's the only thing that realistically he has over Bridges, unless you also want to. I think his defensive rating is. Let me see what his defensive rating is. And he has a better defensive rating, but that's not a fair assessment. You don't compare defensive rating, right? That's not. Bridges is a starter. Dante's coming off the bench. I thought he started more games than this. But look, Dante is a bench player. He's going up against way less competition. But screw this year. I'm going to look at last year. Okay? Last year, this is his numbers. Not this. But this is his number. I'm trying to unlight. Yeah, okay. It's highlighted in orange. All right? That's it. Hold on. Let me go to the stats. That's the advance. This is what he did last year. Okay? 15.5 points a game. If Mikal Bridges averaged 15.5 points a game, you guys would have a heart attack. I take the 40% from three. But offensively, Mikal is more dynamic than Dante. That's a fact. Oh, you guys can't see the screen. My bad. My bad. Hold on. My fault. Let me just stretch this out. So you see there's no cap in my raps. This is what he did with the Knicks last season. 15.5 points per game. Okay? He did shot a better three-point percentage than Bridges. Okay? And if you want to look at his defensive rating, he was 113, but once again, I mean, it's hard to compare defensive rating because you're seeing different matchups. Defensive rating does not account for matchups. Okay? For the record. I just wanted to share that. Now, you got to give Bridges another year. Especially if you guys you feel like Bridges is not performing to the level, then that means you're going to trade him for a loss. You might as well give him another year and hope he balls out. But right now, OG Anunoby's that third guy. Dante DiVincenzo, 39 points. I mean, I don't really care about that, though. JJ, are you aware that if New York didn't agree to give up the 5 picks, then the Rockets would have done it? Then the Rockets would have done it. Okay. Facts. Yo, that's a good point. Knicks would be champs. Who's the Knicks would be champs? I swear, the mods and the members, man. Y'all be having some great takes. Yeah, Yuri, I say give him a year. And I just think your expectations are so high because you're worried about draft picks. Like, I mean, if Rudy Gobert wasn't Defensive Player of the Year, what would you say about him? Because they also gave up like 5 draft picks for him. Let me see. Oh yeah, he was definitely getting cooked by Halliburton. That's a fact. I don't want to make it a negative thing, but he definitely was getting cooked by Halliburton. But it is Halliburton. Halliburton is nice. It's a fact. Yeah, Yuri, that's the pecking order. JB first option, Cat third option, OG fourth option. It's crazy, and it's crazy how dynamic. Like I don't think y'all guys understand how good the Knicks are going to be next year. I don't think you guys can grasp it. You guys are so stuck on we got to win now that you can't even see the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is this. I got a video on the channel. This is why you got to hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Hit the bell icon so you see all the notifications, right? And if you are a subscriber, consider joining the channel. But if you look at some of my old videos, I got a video talking about the Knicks' unfair advantage, or not unfair advantage, but the advantage that the Knicks have against the Cavaliers and the Celtics. It's longevity. And wait till you see the next video I'm going to drop about why Leon Rose is a genius. That might even be the title. Why Leon Rose is a genius, right? In order to see the video, you got to hit that subscribe button. But they're going to have a year to develop their craft together. To me, the Knicks already got the best starting five in basketball because the Thunder don't even play. Sometimes they start Casey Wallace. Sometimes they start the double big lineup. I watched a little bit of that Detroit Pistons OKC. I didn't watch the finale, so I have no idea who won that game. But I did watch a little bit of it because I was, I'm busy doing a whole bunch of things, trying to get ready for the show, making sure I'm on point with the whole game review with the Knicks. Oh, they smacked them. Yeah, because that's another thing, too. They were smacking them earlier, and then I was like, I don't want to waste my time watching this game because it's not like Cade is there. So it's hard to do homework on Detroit because they're not going to play like this without Cade, So that's why I was like, I turned from it, but they went on a little run. But look at their lineup. Look at OKC's lineup. They don't always start Isaiah Hartenstein and Chet. So if you ask me, to me, the Knicks got the most dynamic lineup. The Cleveland's lineup is not bad. It's just that I feel like Strus is just, I just feel like Strus is just, he's okay, but he's not him, as my man Hove would say. But next season is going to be crazy. I'm just going to say that. I'm going to drop a video on that. Really going in, but you're going to have another year of these guys gelling, and maybe you get another starter that maybe has size. Maybe you get a Bobby Portis, right? I'm not saying they are. I'm just giving an example of you don't know what's going to happen next year. So you got to relax. It's looking good. The offense is crazy. I think we could be like Cleveland next year. Come out the gate and string along 15 wins. The key thing is health. But by the way, besides Jalen Brunson, here's another factor. Besides Jalen Brunson, he still can get it. But every single starter is over 65 games besides JB, because we'll see if he comes back. He still has time to catch it. But you got all 5 starters with 65 plus games. But his guys are burnt out. I don't know, man. If they burnt out, they not making it to 65 games. And by the way, Towns and Brunson's minutes is fine. This is what Brunson was getting the whole damn time he was here. Towns 35 minutes, I don't got a problem with it. And it would have went down more had Mitch played more games. Mitch only played 14 games. Let me see what you got talking about. They don't need multiplayers. They need a secondary wing defender. I agree with that. Knicks would be champs. Detroit's going to be our matchup in round 1. They got a hard schedule. And Bucks is easy. How you know who's going to be our matchup in round 1? It could go anywhere. I don't know who we're going to match up with. I can't say that with confidence. By the way, salute to Strong Island Bomber. What are the chances the Celtics and Cavs are even together? Aren't they both? Yeah, they both second apron. Yes, they both a second apron, Strong Island Bomber. Will the Knicks be a second apron team next year? I doubt it. I strongly doubt it. Yuri says OKC won. Yeah, I see. I figured they would. That's why I didn't even really was paying attention. Because without Cade, it's like, that's not good. That's not the Pistons, bro. Cade does a lot. Yuri says we got at least a 3-year window. Fact. And I might even extend it to 4. These guys are only in their late 30s. It's not like these guys are 35, like the Warriors. Just saying. Doesn't matter who Knicks face in round 1. That's a fact. The Knicks will be champs. That's always been my stance. I never ducked and dodged. I even did it. We did after midnight streams. We did multiple streams. We did a podcast. We did the Knicks call-up show. Right? We did an after midnight stream. Listen, man, ain't no ducking nobody. I think we beat everybody. The only team, even Cleveland, I think we could beat them. We hadn't seen Cleveland with our guys yet. I need to see them beat us with our starting 5. Like I always say, give me the 5 that got us here. I still hadn't seen it yet. I still hadn't seen the 5 that got me here. So why am I going to be mad? Oh man, we couldn't beat Cleveland. Oh, we're 0-8 against the elite teams. Listen, you could be 8-0 in the regular season. I'm going to take 8-0 in the playoffs. How about that? You be 8-0 in the regular season. I'm going to take 8-0 in the playoffs. And there's no correlation, bro. No correlation. You could give 10 examples of a team beat you in the regular season and they also double down in the playoffs. You could do the same thing in the reverse, in the inverse. Regular season and playoffs is different. We know that. Let them beat us 4 out of 7. Facts. Facts. This is more on Tibbs than Leon. You know, I'm riding with you, an outspoken introvert, because I can't give Tibbs no passes, bro. Tibbs needs to stop playing the 8-man rotation. It's not right, bro. It's not right, because it's one thing if he's playing the 8-man rotation and we had our best 8, all right, I might not be as against it. But when you ain't got your best 8 and now you putting pressure on Precious to be a 5, and then now Landry Shamet got to be a power forward. It's just, I don't like it. Right. So tonight I felt like this was the time to open up the rotation because you wasn't going to win the game anyway. You wasn't going to win the game. Knicks wasn't going to win tonight. Come on. Anybody who thought that the Knicks were going to win tonight, you guys are delusional. I'm sorry. If you really believe the Knicks were going to win tonight, you were delusional. Now, if Mitch would have played, we probably still would have lost, but it would have been a little different. Of course, we're going to give they prop. Man, listen, this is New York City, man. Look, we look, man. Where I'm from, we are player appreciators. Of course, we'll give the props. Of course, we'll give the props. I think that with the Pistons loss, the Knicks have already, at worst, clinched a 4th seed. Yeah, we're not falling to the 4th seed. All we got to do is win 3 games. We got Atlanta. We might lose that Atlanta game. But Phoenix, we definitely going to win against Phoenix. And yo, honestly, we might win against Boston. I don't think Boston going to play. And guys, no live play-by-play. I know that's a TNT game. I'm saving the live play-by-plays for the playoffs because Boston might mess around and nobody play. And I'm not trying to watch that game, together. We just watched that on TNT. We got to deal with that. Playoff starts. By the way, speaking of playoffs, we are watching the playoff game together, right? We are watching the games together. Oh, wait. Nope. Wrong one. We're watching the games together, right? So if you want to watch the game in person, real life, 3D, click the RSVP form that's pinned in the chat, okay? I'm trying to get a head count. How many people going to come out? All right. JJ said these games mean nothing. Facts. And then, like, I think Kendrick Perkins was saying it. Like, it's not like you gonna get the credit if you win. Think about it. If we beat Cleveland, they're gonna be like, oh, well, Cleveland, they dropped like 4 games in a row and they're not really playing and there's no wins. Yuri says you rather bench everybody instead of clinching the 3rd seed. No, Yuri, we gonna clinch the 3rd seed regardless. Cause you got games like Phoenix, you're definitely gonna win that game, right? Boston, you're more than likely gonna win that game. Detroit, you probably could lose, but it ain't gonna matter. That last Cleveland game, you're definitely winning that last Cleveland game. I don't think Cleveland's gonna sweep us because I don't think they're gonna play the last game. That'll be the second to last game of the season. And then you got the Nets. The Nets. Salute the Big Dog Talk Sports. Salute and salute Big Dog Talk Sports for hitting the 1,000 subscriber mark. To me, what's the difference between the 3rd and the 4th seed? We ain't ducking no fades, man. I'm not going to purposely lose to get to the 4th seed. That's scary. If you doing that, you just might as well just give up on the playoffs. Like, what? Dude, you try to get the highest seed possible. I don't think there's been any history of any team, especially divulged publicly, but I don't think you're going to find something that you could look at and say, man, they actually purposely slipped to the 4th seed to avoid this team. You want to finish as high as possible because you never know what's going to happen in the playoffs. Regular season success is not a direct correlation of playoff success. Yuri, I don't know. I'm worried about Deuce. I think Brunson might play this weekend. I got the feeling that he's going to play because he was cleared for all basketball activities. He probably miss the Atlanta game and come back for Phoenix. And then play against Boston. Probably sit out the Detroit game and then play against Cleveland. I think that's what Brunson's going to do. Don't quote me on it. And then he's going to sit out the last Brooklyn game. They're only going to play Brunson the 4 games so he could, get in there. So I think that's the game plan, right? He going to not play against Atlanta, come back against Phoenix, play against Boston, right? Sit out the Detroit game and play the Cleveland game. Yes, Court, or QATT. Yeah, Court. Okay, I'm just going to say 119%. Court. All right. I think Mikal will bring it in the playoffs. It's less pressure on him. He's a 4th option. He don't even need listen. JB is going to smoothen the ship because a lot of you guys were also saying, oh, yeah, with JB there, the Knicks moved the ball better. The Knicks moved the ball better. Yuri brought this to my attention that people were saying it. And I'm like, yo, do you want to see what the assist numbers are? How are you judging ball movement? Is it just passing? Oh, yeah, we just pass it around. What good is just passing it around if it's not leading to no buckets? I'm in the wrong game. Knicks had 24 assists. They had 10 assists in the first quarter. That's another reason why the first quarter was really good because the Knicks also shot over 60% from 3 and they were, getting assists, not just moving the ball around. 24 assists tonight. Their assist numbers dropped, okay, since Brunson has been out of the lineup. Oh, I'm not in research mode. My bad, y'all. Yeah, I keep doing this. Their assist numbers dropped. 24 assists tonight, okay? But their assist numbers dropped since Brunson's not been in the lineup. Offensively, this team has been it's been bad, bro. They're probably like 20. When we last looked at it, they were like 18th. I wouldn't be surprised if they're 20th in offensive rating right now without Brunson. Not the whole year. There is no offensive stat that this team is better at without Brunson. I'm just going to say it like that. There is no offensive stat that this team is better at without Brunson. All of the improvements were on the defensive end. And you know what? I'm going to touch on that too. Versus Boston. Well, by the time we get to Boston, Mikal would already probably wash the Bucks, because the Bucks are getting washed for sure. I don't normally say this, but I'm going to say it. We might sweep the Bucks. With a healthy JB, that's the key. Knicks will be chance 25-26. The Knicks blew games in 99 because they like their chances better in the first round against Miami. I don't know about that. Knicks will be champs. Because what I remember, and salute to you, Knicks will be champs. I read Blood in the Garden as well. And it was a fight to get to that AFC, bro. They had to fight from what I could remember, they had to fight to get to the AFC. So I respect where you're coming from, Knicks will be champs, because it makes sense. But I'm going to keep it real with you. I don't think they did that. Only because we knew they had to fight to make it. They had to go on a crazy run to make it to the playoffs in 99. But I want to shift gears to Brunson before I wrap up. I want to shift gears to Brunson, right? So now, you know what? I'm going to go to NBA.com. So now the talk is that Jalen Brunson's a defensive liability and the defense is going to become much worse when Brunson gets back. Because Jalen Brunson, he's such a liability. And I think that's total nonsense. Jalen Brunson is not a defensive liability. Now, will the defense slide a little bit? Maybe. It could. I mean, I don't know, right? But I do know this, and this is why I stay in research mode. I know this, though. If Jalen Brunson is such a liability on defense, why did the Knicks have a 10th ranked defense last year? With JB. Because JB, to my knowledge, and I'm in research mode, JB played 77 games. So if JB played 77 games and this team was a 10th ranked defense, and we know how terrible the defense was pre-OG Anunoby trade. The only reason why the defense got better is because of OG Anunoby. Salute the OG for coming through, changing the narratives of this team. So now Jalen Brunson plays 77 games. If he's such a liability and if the defense is bad and the defense can't be good, why was last year's team defensively better? I know what you're going to say. Isaiah Hartenstein. Right? Isaiah Hartenstein. That's why. Because you had Hartenstein there and he was just this great center. Okay, fair enough. He is an inside playmaker, but that's why. See, what we're missing in all of this is that, by the way, Karl-Anthony Towns was with the first ranked defense last year. I know you're going to say, oh, well, there's Rudy Gobert. No matter. The point that I'm saying is they're not hindering their teams from being a top ranked defense. Now, what you're going to see, hopefully, is more Towns and Mitch together. I wouldn't start them together, and I probably wouldn't close them together. But in the middle of the game, you might see a little bit more of Towns and Mitch, because Mitch has had an impact on the defense. Now, here's the thing that I want to say about Mitch, right? So Mitch has the best defensive rating on the team. I'm just going to show you, right? That's why we stay in research mode all the time, every time. Hold on, play by play, pure 100, right here, bam. So Mitchell Robinson, 108 defensive rating. Towns, the guy who's the bad defender, has the second best differential on the team at 110. He's played 67 games, and Towns had no protection policy, unlike Jokic. Jokic got a protection policy. Hey, Aaron Gordon, come get this guy. Towns has to guard whoever the 5 is every night. And that's part of the reason why he gets in foul trouble. But Towns' defensive rating, now I'm not saying that he's facing world beaters every night, but it is a 110 all year. Now, recently it hasn't been that good. It's been slipping, but it's still 110. Now, Mitchell Robinson, 108, best defensive rating on the team. We know he gets the toughest assignments. We know he does a lot of the dirty work. So, yeah, Mitch is, he's so much of a factor, right? And here's a point for my Brunson people. How do you know? How do you know that with Mitchell Robinson back, he's the reason why the defense is better and that the defense will be just as good with Brunson? How do you know that? No, there's no way to know. So stop putting it all on Brunson. Stop saying that Brunson's defense is bad. Let's not even talk about three-point defense, because percentage-wise, yes, pure numbers, three-point defense has been better, right? From a percentage perspective. But mechanically, you still see teams missing open threes. They're missing open threes. So, Philly, I don't got the Philly game here, but the Portland game, because I forgot to update. I didn't get a chance to update my notes. I will after this stream. But Portland, 40% from 3. Milwaukee, 36%. That's decent. LA Clippers, 38% from 3. No, I'm sorry. I'm wrong. I'm looking at our shooting. Hold on. You get it? Me too. Relax. I'm going to get it right. So Portland has 25%. Okay. Milwaukee, 34%. Clippers shot above 50%. Right? Dallas was Dallas. Washington's Washington. Who cares? But Charlotte, 46%. San Antonio, 45%. So before you use the Mitch didn't play one game, they were terrible both games. Miami, 26%. Miami's a failing ship. Golden State was impressive. Golden State, 31%. But the point that I'm saying is that even during this stretch, you still got teams. You had a team shoot 50% from 3. And like I said, a lot of times teams are missing open threes. Why are you putting that on Brunson? You know what else I want to say? Offense, and I'm gonna go in the bigger screen. Offense is your best defense. You know how they say defense is your best offense? Offense is your best defense. What happened tonight? In the first half, Knicks was on fire. By the Knicks being on fire, it limited Cleveland's opportunities, because Cleveland, like OKC, they got to get out in transition. They're a very fast-paced team. We controlled the pace in the first half. Second half came. What happened? Lack of offensive productivity. I think they said here's my other book. I think I got it off the top of the head. They said that the Knicks, the Cleveland Cavaliers in the second half outscored the Knicks. I think it was 81 to 47. 81 to 47. Look, we got the numbers right here. Got the numbers right here. Let me see. They said 81. No, it wasn't just it was a point in time in the game. Either way, they had like 80 to like 40 or 50 points from the Knicks. They ran out of offense. They ran out of offense. So because you run out of offense, you're not getting stops on the other end. Because now Cleveland Cavaliers get 14 fast break points all in the second half. And you could just go down the list of games. Why is this? Why? Testing. Can you guys still hear me? I lost mine. Hold on. Testing. Can you guys still hear me? All right, cool. So so if the defense is so good without Brunson, right? Why did you lose the San Antonio-Charlotte game? 2 bad losses, but within the same stretch, you lose 1, 2, 3 games. So you lose 5 games. 3 of them to above 500 teams, 2 of them to sub 500 teams, and you only beat 2 above 500 teams in Milwaukee and Sacramento. What happens to the offense, right? If Brunson plays these games, more than likely you probably win at least 3 or 4 of them. So, but we want to make Brunson to be the liability and the problem. And that's the problem. And also, too, basketball this is what I'm saying, like, people look at basketball, but they're not looking at it from a global kind of like big picture lens. Like they're looking at one aspect and they're like, oh man, this is off because of this. But they're not really looking at the landscape of everything. And then you could really see what's going on, right? And I'm saying that to say that basketball is about winning your matchup. And you could do points, rebounds, assists. Jalen Brunson wins his matchup consistently every night. So, like, damn, what team was that? Oh, man, it was a team that we lost to. And I was like, yo, Brunson could have made the difference. Oh, Golden State. Okay, cool. So when we lost to Golden State, right? I was like, yo, if Brunson was there, we would cook them. They said, wait, but what about defense? This was the night that Moses Moody had 18. I said, well, that would have been Brunson's assignment. And if Brunson sets the liability on defense, why did Moses Moody score 18 points? And he had some buckets that hurt us. But when you say a liability on defense, that means that you're costing the team each and every time. Like, you're pretty much just a deficit. You're in a deficit. And yes, we know we could go look at plus minus. I know his on-court, off-court Brunson's is negative. I don't really care to get into such technical stuff because the key thing about it is his plus minus is positive. So we know the Knicks are better with Brunson when he's out there on the floor. He's the closer, right? More offensive stuff. Yeah, I know. You're talking about defense, but I'm talking about offensive stuff. You need another guy that could win his matchup. That's why when I talk about Boston, right, I said, look, in that series, we got the best point guard and the best center. I know the game is not played like that necessarily, but when you look at it from a production, points, rebounds, and assists, if I can get more points, rebounds, and assists from Towns than Boston's starting center, whether it's KP or Horford, that's a win. If I can get more points, rebounds, and assists from Brunson against his matchup, that's a win. Now, everything in the middle, you let them battle it out. That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about it from a production standpoint. You could even look at it based on options. Jason Tatum is the first option. Jaylen Brown, the second option. Towns and Brunson. What's the difference in production when you look at points, rebounds, and assists? It's very similar. Everything out after that favors the Knicks. Points, rebounds, and assists. That's why I talk about the Josh Hart, Jrue Holiday. Josh Hart is more productive than Jrue Holiday. He's a better defender than Josh Hart. But if I'm talking points, rebounds, and assists and winning matchups and production, Josh Hart has been more productive in that way. But Holiday is a better defender, and overall, career-wise, Holiday is a better player. So I'm taking that away from you guys too. Okay, I'm not saying that Hart is better than Holiday, period. I'm saying production-wise. That's all I'm talking about is production. That's what it's all about. It's not about, I need you to shut the other guy down all the time. Memphis fired coach. Okay, what does Memphis got to do in New York? Two different teams. You want Memphis coach on the Knicks? Why? What did he do? what did Memphis coach? I mean, listen to the logic. Coach Tibbs hasn't done anything. I want to fire him. I'm going to bring in a coach that hasn't done anything. I don't know, guys. That just doesn't make sense to me. That just doesn't make sense to me. Knicks will be chance says Brunson gives the effort on the D. Pause for sure. Defensive ratings are based on whether you get a steal or block. No, I get what you're saying about defensive rating. Knicks will be champs. It's not. No, defensive rating is a very, very powerful stat. And you know what? I'll spend some time on that. Hold on. I'm gonna give you defensive rating is probably, to me, the player efficiency, defensive rating, those stats to me are probably the best advanced advanced stats that you can look at, because it tells you a lot is what's going on. The only thing that it doesn't tell you is matchups. That's the shortcoming of defensive rating. For example, you might notice, right? James Harden might have a really good defensive rating. But you got to understand, he's on a really good defensive team. The Clippers is the number 2 defense in basketball. So everybody's rating is going to be high. Because the points and that also is a contributor to defensive rating. As I look for, hold on, I'm going to give you the technical definition of it because I looked it up. And because I was the same way, I'm like, defensive rating. No, defensive rating is a real stat. But the shortcoming of defensive rating is that it doesn't account for you. First off, your team could be really great, and the matchups. So if you're guarding, I don't know, Joe Blow every other night, of course your defensive rating is going to be high. That's why you don't look at defensive rating with the naked eye and say, oh, this person has a lower defensive rating than that guy, so he's a better defender. Anybody doing that don't know nothing about basketball. They don't know nothing about basketball. I'm trying to find this, man. Hold on. I got the on-off. Oh, boy. I don't know what I did with it. I had a really good definition of defensive rating. Oh, I think I might have found it. Okay. Let me see. No, this is not it. Damn. But that's all. So when we talk about defensive rating, steals and blocks is a part of it. But no, it's not just about steals and blocks. It's the whole shebang. It's a little bit of plus minus in there too, because it counts points scored by the team and all of that stuff. Like it's pretty thorough in letting you know what's happening besides matchups. I'm gonna find that. I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna put it in the Discord. Knicks will be champs. This will be chance. Tibbs isn't going anywhere. Facts. I think I beat this Jalen Brunson defensive liability point home, and somebody put it in the chat that he draws charges. He also gives initiative to try to play defense. Sean Island Bomber says, all I know is if we go up against Boston or Cleveland in the second round, it has to be competitive. I think that if we're healthy, it's going to be competitive. If Brunson's not 100%, we're going to get cooked. Now I'm going to give it to you the raw truth. Outspoken introvert facts. Tibbs is only leaving by resignation or retirement. Fact. They're not. This is a family affair. I know Dante got traded, but Dante wasn't a part of. Nah, he was a. I'm joking. But yeah, this is a family affair. I don't see them letting go of Coach Tibbs. I think right now, Jalen Brunson, Leon Rose, Coach Tibbs are like the brain trust of this operation. And I don't think you let any one of those guys go. Everybody else can go. But those three guys, and maybe Josh Hart, because that's his best friend. I don't see none of those guys going nowhere. Yuri says, so let's fire a coach that got us multiple playoff appearances, led us to the best record since the 90s. Facts. And has tied Pat in wins. No, he passed Pat Riley in wins. Get the best out of his players, and we'll get a ring. And coach each one of his starters in 65 games, especially if Brunson can come back. Tibbs is uncle. Dante was play cousin. Facts. Yeah, Dante. Yo, salute to that. I like that. He's a play cousin. And that commercial is funny, by the way. Yes, he tied his wins with the Bulls. And, they had some 60-win teams on the Bulls. I don't think Tibbs will be on the hot seat if we lose to the Celtics. I ain't gonna lie. Yuri, I see your point about Detroit. There was one play in that Detroit game, right? Where Amin Thompson? Yeah, because Asar's on Houston. Amin Thompson bottled up SGA. Bottled him up. I was like, nobody bottles up SGA. Yeah, so they got some talent. But they veterans, I'm not scared of they veterans. When I look at the playoffs, right? You're only as good as your veterans. You're only as good as your veterans in the playoffs. That's why all of these young teams that don't got veterans that did anything, they gonna struggle. Like Indiana might mess around and like make it embarrassing. Now I'm not sure about Indiana's health. I know they've been playing some good basketball. We could spy on Indiana. Why not? Let's go spy on the paper. But we're not gonna be box score warriors. But we ain't got no choice but to look at the box score. Okay, they beat Charlotte, Sacramento, lost to OKC. Everybody's losing to OKC. Beat Washington. Yeah, they blew Washington out 162 to 109. Lost to the Lakers in a LeBron tipping game, which was crazy. I actually did see part of that game. I didn't see the whole game. They smacked Minnesota, who was playing good ball. Okay. They definitely got some wins. Definitely got some good wins. Knicks 48-28 for the first time in like 20 years. And oh my God, this Knicks team is failing. I think some of you guys need just to relax. Salute to HRM the Great. Knicks will be Knicks Tape Madness Discord server and channel member. He said, I definitely take the Bucks first. All right, what? I take them first. I mean, I don't really care, but I would take them first because they ain't got Dame, you know, but I don't really care though. Definitely Strong Island Bomb. I think they'll turn it up. Definitely hit the like button and subscribe, y'all. For sure. Hit that like button, subscribe. And if you are a subscriber, consider joining the channel. Let me real quickly show you why you should join the channel as I go to YouTube. So when you join the channel, you get access to an exclusive club called the Knicks Tape Madness Discord server, right? On there, we have 24/7 chats. We get it in. We got NBA chat, boxing chat, Knicks chat. It's crazy in there. We just have great conversations, and it's definitely lit. We got a Fight Fans Only chat. So if you like watching sports, I'm also in there. It's a great way to extend the conversation. I'm in there. I'm letting the guys know about the game, man. I'll just be like, listen, man, I know I didn't play in the NBA, but I watch a lot of basketball, bro. I study the game, and I'm telling you, yeah, we're going to get cooked tonight. You know, so you're going to get stuff like that. And, you know, definitely is a great place to connect with other Knicks fans. And here's the key thing about our Discord server. There's no craziness in there. Everybody who chats in there, they have good points. Whether we agree or disagree, they all got a great way of looking at the game. Like Knicks will be champs, to me, is one of the most introspective chatters. That's a word. People in the chat, right? He always is very thoughtful. Like he would write these paragraphs and we got to respond with voice notes in there. It's crazy. So yeah, you're going to have good conversation in there, right? This is not just a Discord where there's a whole bunch of Wild Wild West people in there putting up all these crazy emojis. No, this is a real family kind of like vibe. And we talk every game. So, and then just 24/7 period, right? Now, that's not all you get. You get badges, of course, the cool stuff. You see some people got the badges in the chat. We also got member-only live chats, member-only live shows, like Parlay Sundays, like how this show's supposed to be, but I opened it up. Definitely priority reply to comments when you're a member. So if you put someone out, because I try to put polls up every day. So sometimes people comment on the polls, it gets comments. I make sure I respond to the members. In the live streams, I also see, if I see the badge, I try to make sure I get all the members' comments read. So that's another thing you get. Definitely a whole lot of like private content, exclusive content, from parlay picks to me playing basketball and just all types of stuff. I got the Unfiltered Thought series, which, by the way, I got to do the Shamit video. I think that's what I have to do when I get off of here. But I drop a lot of members only content. Also, of course, members get shouted out, but also a discount on merch. And I got a message Oh my God. See, that's why I like doing lives. I always remember stuff that I was supposed to do. I got a message back to the designer. Okay. I got a designer that Hopefully, it can design fire. I'm praying that it designs fire. Okay. So, but that's what you get when you join the channel, y'all. That's what you get when you join the channel. Now, dude's talking about Tibbs is outdated. Okay. Is Coach Greg Popovich outdated? I don't know, man. Big Dog Talk Sports. I told them they gotta relax. They got mad at me. Who got mad at you, Big Dog Talk Sports? How Yuri said, so you want David Fizdale. Where is David? I don't want to do that. Salute to David Fizdale. Hopefully he's in a good place. But that's all I got for you guys, man. I'm gonna give a big round of applause to the people, man, for rocking with me late night. This is unfortunately this is like the time where I do me because the family's all asleep. So I like late nights. I'm just a late night type of dude, and that's why I do the after midnight stream because you guys are late night people too. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you rocking with me. Salute to Yuri. Salute the Big Dog Talk Sports. Salute the court, 119%. Salute the Knicks will be chance 25-26. Outspoken introvert, John McLeod. Wow, outspoken introvert, you took it back all the way to John McLeod. Damn. Most of us don't know who the world that is. I know who that is because I did my research. J-Tap, salute to J-Tap. Definitely another dope show. HRM the Great. Salute to Yuri. Who else I miss? Rocky 79. Hope next season. Okay, salute to you. Who else I miss? I'm gonna make sure I get everybody. Didn't see On Dios tonight. Super Mod. Salute to On Dios. Didn't see Maxine in the building either. Salute to Maxine. Everybody probably sleeping. It's mad late on the East Coast. A lot of you guys are on the West Coast. I see the West Coast people up in here heavy. Salute to the West Coast. But us East Coast people, most of them are out. Salute to JJ for sure. Big round of applause to everybody, man. That's all I got for you tonight. And until next time, you already know the vibes. Let's go, Knicks.